Hi guys, and welcome back to the Rare Record Room, and a big hello to any new viewers. This is where I share with you some of the records I've collected over the last 40 years or so. These range from 1950s rock and roll right up to the Britpop era of the 1990s. They're mostly United Kingdom pressings on all manner of labels, including the big mainstream companies like EMI, RCA and Decca, through to the smaller collectible subsidiaries such as Vertigo, DRAM, Blue Horizon, Immediate and EMI's Harvest and Apple labels. I hope you'll find these episodes interesting and informative. If that's the case, why not give us a like and take a look at some of my other record collecting videos. Thank you. Following my previous videos on the 1960s recordings from the British rock band the Troggs, today I will conclude my look at the band, describing their UK releases of the original band lineup from 1968 to their split in 1969. The lineup being Reg Presley on lead vocals, Ronnie Bond on drums, Pete Staples on bass guitar and Chris Britton on lead guitar. It's fair to say that their heyday of 1966 to 7, in which they scored a string of hit singles in both the US and the UK, including #1 records, had since passed, and the final years of the 60s were commercially challenging for the Troggs, with a repeat of previous successes sadly eluding them. 1968 started with the top 5 hit Love Is All Around, still in the UK chart, although being in the lower reaches. And when this was released in the US in May 1968, it reached an impressive number 7, although this did prove to be the group's final charting single in America. The Troggs' next single in Britain was called Little Girl, and this only just scraped into the UK top 40. This single was taken from the album Mixed Bag, which was released on Page One Records in December 1968. 11 of this album's 12 tracks were written by band members, with the remaining song Hip Hip Hooray being co-written by John Carter, formerly of the beat group The Ivy League and now a successful songwriter whose hits included those written for the Ivy League, as well as Semi-detached Suburban Mr. James by Manfred Mann and songs recorded by Tom Jones, the Swinging Blue Jeans, Gene Pitney and Herman's Hermits. The LP Mixed Bag also contained 2 more of the Troggs singles from 1968, being Surprise Surprise and You Can Try If You Want To, both of which failed to chart in the UK. The LP failed to chart in the NME album charts and is now the band's rarest UK album, valued at £150 for mint copies in the current Rare Record price guide. The group fared no better in 1969, with only 2 singles released that year, being Evil Woman and That's What You Get, both of which were non-charting records. The Troggs' only album released in 1969 was their budget compilation Trogglomania. Advertised as a sampler album, this 10-track collection included 4 songs drawn from the studio LP From Nowhere, the Troggs, and 2 from their second album Troggler Dynamite, plus some non-album tracks. Side 1 closes with their most memorable song, the breakthrough million-selling hit Wild Thing. There is some confusion over this LP, with several sources describing it as a live record, which it is not, and giving it a 1970 release, which it wasn't. The label clearly shows the release date of 1969. Being a cut price LP from Page One Records, this album was issued on their monochrome label design with a matte finish, rather than the silver print used for their full retail priced releases, red and silver being for singles and the light blue and silver being for album releases from Page One Records. This album also failed to chart, with copies in decent shape being currently valued in the price guide at £40. With both singles and LP chart success repeatedly eluding them, the band split in March 1969. And that just about brings to an end my rundown of the Troggs UK recordings throughout the 60s and this episode, which has concentrated on their recordings in 1968 and 1969. That's your lot for this episode from the Rare Record Room. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more and to receive notifications for any new uploads. Thanks for watching. See you next time.